let's assume that title fight happens, Ilia versus Islam. Break it down. Who do you think actually wins?
No matter what, I'm going to get crucified. Okay. But I will say the speed advantage, Ilia Topuria, boxing speed, boxing punches, Ilia Topuria. Calf kicks, which is a very dangerous weapon. I think Ilia Topuria uses those way better than Islam Makhachev. I don't think Makhachev really throws kicks like calf kicks. It's a very interesting fight. Hopefully it gets me. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the weekly scraps. I don't know where all these vapes came from. Jake, you went overseas, came back a brand new human being. Damn, bro. You got it changing.
He's talking to me? That's fucking
Ain't that right, baby girl?
Pour me some fucking rum, bro.
But before we get started, I got this Clase Azul in this thing. I don't know. Smoke screen.
Unfucking real, this guy.
Yeah. So we'll start this episode off with a nice, fresh bottle of Funk Harbor. And to let you guys know, the white rum is officially in the States.
Oh.
We are going to start taking sales, I believe, this week. Should be tomorrow. I know they're asking for images. I don't have the bottle yet to take fresh images to post them up. So I'm like, yo, let's just use one of these images that we have taken in the past with other stuff and just get this thing rolling. Because this is going to be a much more affordable price range. And the liquid is still very, very good. Quality in a Jamaican rum bottle. That's what we do. Jamaicans, we just be bringing the heat, baby.
So the gold liquid got you the AP. What's the white liquid going to get you?
It got me the AP. This is not an AP, though.
It's fake as fuck.
It ain't an AP. I'm just saying. It's not an AP. It's not an AP on my
What do you buy when the white liquid just goes super viral?
What do I buy? Honestly, I just reinvest into the company. Probably a boring answer, but...
Super boring.
It's the truth.
I try to make this guy go viral, get him some views, sell his rum a little. He just gives me boring bullshit.
Listen, man. I'm a businessman and a businessman. Well, cheers.
Let's go. Back in the States.
Back in the States from Thailand, from
Balance
fuck
is
it.
restored.
It's been a long 3 weeks, man. 3.5 weeks in fuck it Thailand. And honestly, we had a great time. It was a really eye-opening trip.
Eye-opening.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from these Russian dudes, and they did not disappoint in a good way.
Okay.
I don't know what I really expected. I don't know much about Russians,
Yeah.
And I guess my preconceived beliefs on Russians as a general population overall, mean, don't really laugh.
Heartless.
A little more heartless. But these guys were great. These guys were great people, man. I had a great time with the majority of the people in the house, the fighters, and even the staff, the people who were working behind the scenes for the cameras and things like that. We all became like boys.
Yeah.
I come in, I used to just dap up the fighters, and I started dapping up this cast like, yo, what's up, my cameraman 1, cameraman 2, yo, bring it in, cameraman 3.
Wait, can we show the video of the writer slapping the other guy?
We could. I posted it to my story.
Okay.
Did I post it to my story? Actually, I probably didn't.
So
now I got
my interpretation of everything based on what you and Dennis told me was that these guys were just brimming with testosterone and ready to kill each other at all times.
Lots and lots of testosterone. Where is this one? Yeah, this is the one.
So that was one of the writers on the show.
Yeah, so these guys were talking to each other and then just chaos.
What the fuck?
Chaos, bro. But
so
these guys weren't even fighters.
Yeah,
that's just writing cast.
So what was this show? What were you doing out there?
So it's the I don't want to call it the Temu version because it's actually pretty entertaining, but it is the Russian version of The Ultimate Fighter in Thailand.
Okay.
They have a big villa, big house. All the fighters live together. And unlike Tough, where people get kicked out of the house if they get into fights, I'm going to say it's partly encouraged to have some conflicts and drama in the house. Partly encouraged.
So it's like everything the UFC couldn't do with the Ultimate Fighter. They just let it all go.
Yeah. So now I kind of wonder, like, would the UFC Ultimates Fighter, with allowing this type of rule set, not even the rule set with the fights, the allowance for debauchery in the house, would that boost the ratings? And my short answer is yes.
1,000%.
Yes. Because this is one of the most watched shows, if not the most watched show, on YouTube in Russia.
Wow.
Which is insane to me to think, like, this kind of chaos brings... I mean, but you would think... I guess it does make sense, right? When there's chaos, people tune in.
Yeah.
We just like controversy.
If the UFC... I think if the UFC allowed that type of stuff, it would be, like, the biggest reality TV show in America.
Again.
Because, like, the UFC is such a huge platform. Like, if they allowed that type of shit... They allow Power Slap. Why can't they allow that? I don't understand. Like, they've already stooped to that type of, like...
I don't know. I feel like... And they asked me this question, too. What do I think in comparison Alpha Global Reality versus The Ultimate Fighter? And I said, listen, both shows are quality in terms of, like, the fights and things like that. But I do think there is a level of excitement to watch the entire show and the entire season in its entirety, not just watching bits and pieces because certain fighters you might like or you want to see a specific thing. You're watching because you don't know what's about to happen. Like, what is going to happen next? And it's just very unexpected with a lot of these situations. So with that said, I said they're both very unique in their own way. Tough would be more exciting if it had a little bit more drama. Because, I mean, it's not, at least it doesn't feel fabricated. Some of it might be fabricated, and I don't know to which extent, which stuff.
You're saying the show you were just on.
Yeah, like at which parts are fabricated, like fabricated beefs. But the fights are real. These guys are actually throwing down in the house. Like, it's absolutely insane
and it's
to watch.
Both. Is it like it's you had a team and Jan had a team, right?
Yeah, the teams didn't matter.
And it was just all of you in a house together.
Well, no, I didn't live in the house.
But like all the guys.
All the fighters were in the house together.
On both sides.
On both sides.
Wow.
There was two brothers that were not allowed to stay in the house because they have like the most drama with everybody. Yeah, so they would have to drive over every day, like whenever there was something to be filmed, in order to like have them, because them just being in the house would just be a liability. It was that bad.
So I'm curious. So basically, it's just the Ultimate Fighter, your team versus Jan's team.
Ultimate Fighter on steroids, bro.
Yeah, literally.
No USADA.
Yeah.
No anti-doping.
So who's funding this shit?
I don't know. I guess they make money from sponsors and things like that.
But there's like one guy. There's like a Dana White, but for this thing, right?
Alfredo.
So what's his deal? Like, do you know?
I don't know where he gets the money from. It seems like it's sponsorship money. I don't know how he got started. I would have liked to have done a podcast with him and do a sit down, but he was very busy. He's gone through his own trials and tribulations of his own life, like ups and downs. And it's impressive and also inspiring to see him come back from, I guess, the depths of abuse of, I guess, drugs. So he's like clean now and everything, at least from our conversations and whatnot, you know. So it's nice to see that. And there was a couple other guys who said the similar thing, like they lived a crazy lifestyle and they just, I don't know if it was just one day, but they eventually changed and they just gone cold with any type of drugs and now they're just clean.
No, it's just anabolics, not.
I mean, it could be anabolics and some other stuff. I don't know.
But these guys were all, okay, so a lot of these guys have crazy pasts. And now they're just on this fucking reality show where it's like all hell breaks loose every day.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's a Grand Prix tournament, so it's like the Ultimate Fighter. We were going to have the finale within this 1 month span, which to me is crazy in hindsight, now that I think about it. I think it makes sense for them to have a little bit of a break for the two finalists to compete. This way, it's more like the Ultimate Fighter, and you get the best version of the final fight versus two guys in the finals that are banged up and cut up all over the face and things like that. So I think they're doing it the right way by doing that. I think before in the past they've had it all in one season, like all at one time. But I think it makes sense for them to wait till after Ramadan and then come back and figure out where they're gonna do the fight at.
Okay. So interesting.
This way they crown a winner.
Yeah. And then what happens if you win?
Prestige, clout.
No, there's no like cash prize or anything?
Yeah, they get paid. From what I understand, they get paid per round no matter what, based on like their popularity. And with that said, there's no win and show. They just get paid like their flat fee, which is cool.
Oh, so they're paid per fight, like
Per fight. So you win, you advance. I don't know if the pay goes up after you win. Maybe not. But then you get to the finals. You get your set pay of what you're gonna get, and I don't think there's a grand prize for winning. I think it's just everything that you get with winning. And one of the things I would have liked to have talked to the guys about overall, but because there was such a huge language barrier, I would have needed a translator to do everything as perfectly as I could to make them really understand the message I was trying to relay to them is, yeah, Alf Global might not be the UFC, but when you're in the UFC, what do we care about? We care about the money. We care about the notoriety. We care about the eyeballs, the viewers. They have that.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm looking at it like, yo, guys, you guys have a huge opportunity to make a big-ass name for yourself on a platform where you're not fighting the best of the best guys in the world, right? But it's an opportunity to get as much popularity as you could probably get within the UFC just by advancing in the tournament, winning the whole tournament, interesting storylines and things like that. So there's a lot of angles for them in regards to that. So I wanted to relay that to them, like, yo, don't look at this as just I'm just here for the drama and whatnot. Like, you guys, I want you guys to be training and taking it serious. Like, there's a real silver lining at the end of the rainbow. And unfortunately, I didn't get to give that little pep talk, but there was a few guys I could tell that were taking it very, very seriously. And you see that with them training outside of the training that we did as teams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. So, like, was the vibe like, oh, we really want to get to the UFC, or?
Nah.
No.
The few guys I spoke to about, like, aspirations, Zalek being one of them.
Was that the guy who I met on FaceTime?
On FaceTime?
Who did I meet on FaceTime?
Dude, that month was a blur, bro.
Okay.
How did he look?
Dagestani.
Yeah, like long hair.
He looked. He was the one who was talking about like Palestine.
Fuck.
I don't know. You guys were at lunch that one day.
Yeah, I don't remember who that was though.
All right, fuck it.
Yeah, but Zalek, one of them. Amir Khan, one of them. The second guy that I spoke to about like helping him and possibly trying to make a run to get into the UFC. I'm sure there's some other ones that would love the opportunity, right? But those are the only ones that I really spoke to that actually talked to me about furthering their career into like bigger aspirations, like of not just having the clout, but having, I guess, the prestige of being in the UFC and the prestige of hopefully fighting for a belt. So, who knows?
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a sick opportunity either way. And then, so...
Bro, this one guy just came into the crib. I don't know if I'm giving spoilers, but this one guy came into the crib. Bro, I thought he just came in to say what's up to everybody. Hello. Kagdala, how you doing? He just gets cracked. He just gets cracked, bro. Out of nowhere. It was like some WWE shit. It was just like, from downtown, just boom, cracked him.
Just
tries to take the guy down. This is what I'm dealing with every day on edge. Now, mind you, as soon as the day is over, we finish recording, I could drop my shoulders and relax and go, whew. I don't have to worry about trying to overhear what someone is saying, potentially being attacked. Because this is what I'm thinking when I first get to the house. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know who likes me. I don't know who doesn't like me. I don't know who's been talking shit about me. Probably the entire house has probably talked shit about me from the first Piotr Jan fight. After that, aftermath, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I can see that. So I'm also on edge the whole time. So when we leave the villa and we get to go home, it's like a big sigh of relief. Like, okay, we made it through another day. We didn't get attacked. We didn't get jumped or beaten up, so we're good.
Did you and Dennis like ever get into fights with the guys?
Fights, nah, but we train with them, spar with them. It was fun, man. We definitely had a good time. As the show progressed, we got a lot closer to the guys, and they felt more like training partners, like actual training partners and friends. And you just got to understand a different side of the Dagestani guys, the Russian guys, and a different level of appreciation. And I think the same thing. I mean, they were translating. I had multiple guys translate for me that, one, I'm not a bad guy. They actually think I'm a really good guy now. Two, that they were glad to meet me, and I'm a much better. They would never had this chance to see this side of me before if I didn't come through the show. So they're happy I did the show, and they were appreciative of everything that we showed and whatnot. So it was cool, man. I think it helped both sides. I do think the reality show is going to show a different side of my personality. So I think people are going to appreciate that. I think sometimes people take me too serious. Sometimes I could be a little serious, but if I don't know you, I don't know you, bro. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
with this, I definitely came with my guard up, just in case I need to hit my Philly show. And then I was able to relax my shoulders a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, you're my brother, brat.
So you think like they didn't like you going into this?
I'm not going to say they didn't like me because they didn't actually say those words.
Okay.
But the text translating that they sent me was literally like, I like you now. So I'm like, I'm going to take that as you didn't like me before.
That's so weird, bro.
Well, people only know what they know, right? They see what they see on TV, and then they come up with their own conclusions and their own perception of something, what they perceive to be real. And one of them even asked me, a guy on my team asked me, he's like, now that the show is over, the fight's over and everything, and years have passed, can you tell us now the truth? Why'd you fake the knee or something like that? And I was just like, voila, oh my God. I was like, seriously, we're doing this? This is what we're doing? And but I answered the question. Alfredo tried to like, brother, like, don't ask this is disrespectful. I said, no, it's okay. They translated it to me.
Wow.
So he said it, and then Alfredo was like, no. I was like, can someone translate what he just said? Now I need to know what he just said.
Yeah.
And he's like, niet, like telling him no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I want to hear it. And then they told me what he said. I started laughing. And I go, voila. And voila is like, I swear to God, whatever, something like that. So I explained, I was like, no, brother, like, I explained this multiple times. I was really hurt that day. I threw up later that night. I had all my friends and family there. Like, I wasn't partying, I wasn't drinking. Like, yo, I was like, you see this guy? I pointed to Jan, like, this guy need me in the head. Like, this guy, not some little schoolgirl. This guy tried to decapitate me. Like, how could I be faking that?
Yeah, no.
Like, he's literally bullying all you guys in the house. One by one, he's like shadowboxing with them and beating them all up.
Really?
Well, he's like play fighting with them, right?
Well, like he was.
But he's point fighting, yeah. So they're touching, and he's outscoring everybody. Like Jan is just running amok through the house, just like everyone's like, after he gets one person, another one steps in. I'm like, yeah, now you guys see what I had to deal with. This is what I had to deal with 2 different times.
That's crazy.
And thankfully, I won. So it is what it is.
Fuck, that's insane. But a lot of shit happened while you were over there.
Oh, of course.
In the UFC.
A lot. We had a lot of fights. And unfortunately, the Wi-Fi was so bad and so slow. For me to send over the video, it took like 10, 12 hours.
Bro.
It was stupid to even try. It was like, and I didn't bring my other mics for the camera, for the iPhone. I bought the one piece for it, but I didn't bring the actual mic, so I was sick. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Try to rip the audio from here and then try to...
Wait, what did you do? Because we did a couple pods while you were over there.
We did one.
How did that go? What did you record the audio on?
The Sony.
Okay, wow.
For some reason, that one loaded much faster than the other ones.
Yeah.
And the other ones, it was just not good. I don't know, because maybe I changed the file format.
Maybe. I don't know. It was just a nightmare. You probably just had good Wi-Fi that one day and then...
Yeah. It did not have good Wi-Fi the other days.
But fucking, bro, Ilia vacated.
Yeah. Ilia vacated.
I find that weird, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like...
So I have I know people are going to come say this comes off as being a hater or whatever.
Pass that, by the way.
Damn, bro, slow down, Tiger.
Trying to enjoy myself here.
I got a couple of different thought processes on this. One, the weight cut is really hard for Ilia. That's one part of it. As he says, right? I can only go by what he's saying to everybody.
I've never heard that about him, but
His coach did that one interview saying he got up to like 80-something kilos or something like that. Okay, whatever. But besides the fact of that, the weight cut's really hard for him. He beat the two greatest of all time at featherweight. Two of the greatest of all time at featherweight, right? I can understand the weight cut. There's probably not much desire left for him to cut the weight, especially if he's chasing bigger and better fights. Furthering his legacy. I know he's on that Conor McGregor path of trying to do things like him. The difference between him and Conor, he actually defended his belt when he won it. So I give him props for that. Is there many challenges for him at 145? Probably not the most lucrative, right? But the biggest money fight he could get is the Islam Makhachev fight. Then on the flip side of that, you have Mosar. Now people are saying he's avoiding Mosar. I do think that would have been a great opportunity for him to silence the critics and show that he's on another level for Mosar. A lot of the Russian guys were asking me on the show who wins between Mosar and Ilia. And I said, that fight can go drastically two different ways. If Mosar manages to get control of him, albeit just like Bryce Mitchell was able to take him down towards the end of one of those rounds, I think round one or whatever, and control him for a bit. If Mosar could do that, if Bryce could do that to him, and if Mosar could get to a similar position, it makes the fight very, very interesting because does it drain Ilia, take away some of his power off of his punches? Ilya's a very good grappler himself, but we also know one guy on top versus one guy on bottom is a completely different energy expenditure versus being on top and bottom. Like, the scenario is completely different. So if he takes him down early round one, that fight can continually, for the rest of that fight, go that way. And I can see Ilia struggling and not being able to have as much success on the feet as he would if he were fresh and not getting taken down and is able to land those big power shots. So if Ilia is able to implement his game plan, I think he kills Mosar. And maybe kill is a little bit of a harsh adjective to describe it, but I do think for sure he beats Mosar. If Mosar can't take him down in round one, I think Ilia runs away with the fight. That's my honest assessment of it. Yes, Mosar gets stronger. The one thing we've seen Ilia in the past with his debut fight with Zalal was he slowed down. He got a little bit tired.
Wasn't that short notice, though?
It was a short notice fight. So it's hard to, but that's the only thing that people can point to.
Yeah.
So you look at a guy like Mosar he constantly gets, he doesn't seem to fade. I'm not going to say he gets stronger as the fight goes on, but he doesn't seem to fade as his opponents fade.
Yeah.
That's another talking point. So it's an interesting fight. I would have liked to have seen that before he vacates, but I can also understand why he decides to just go up and wants to challenge immediately for a title shot.
But I don't think he's getting an immediate title shot.
I don't know what they're going to do. I was on the fence about this, right? 1 or 2 weeks ago, I said I don't think he should get an immediate title shot, and then I sat and thought about it like, actually, I just don't know who else is there for Islam. So if it's not an immediate title shot, who does he actually fight?
So then my thing is, why vacate?
Well, apparently, as Lopes said, like the UFC said, they're no longer allowing people to hold the belt and go up and try to fight for another belt.
Why? That's
I don't know. I guess it blocks up the division, which it does. But if he were to fight Islam and he were to win, Ilia can also come back down, which I don't think he would do, and try to get a second belt.
No way that's happening. No one ever does that.
No.
Because your body just gets big.
Max did it, tried.
Yeah, but,
and we saw how that went.
I don't know.
Getting bigger and then trying to get back small again is just not ideal.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like your body kind of, you've gotten bigger since you went up, I think.
I'm lighter than what I was at 35. Lighter.
Well, because you don't have these crazy blow-ups. But I think your body's, you can't get down to 35 anymore.
I think I could if I wanted to. I don't want to.
I've heard you say, during the weight cut, the last 2 weight cuts, you're like, bro, I don't know how the fuck I would get down to 35 again.
No, of course. But that's also because in my mind I'm set at 45. But if I told myself I had to get back down, I would figure it out. I would break my body down.
You guys are fucking...
Destroy the muscle.
Fighters are... There's something broken in your fucking head to do shit like that.
Yeah, but I would not There's no desire to do that. Like, I don't know if there's an amount of money to make me want to do that again.
I mean, yeah, why would you? Unless it's, I mean, would you do
It's
it for
miserable,
a title shot?
bro. Huh?
Would you do it for a title shot?
What's a title shot pay? That's not worth the damage, the long-term damage that does to my body, my brain, my health overall. It's not worth it anymore. I'm 35 now, bro. 35.
37, but whatever. We can say 35.
This guy's aging me. But yeah,
So-
that's my thought on that. I think Ilia could go up and get the immediate title shot because there's no clear-cut contenders right now or immediate title challengers other than Arma Shayukian, but we saw what happened with that. That was a complete annoying situation, in my personal opinion. But it is what it is.
So
Who else would he fight?
I mean, people are saying Ilia should fight Arman, and then the winner of that fights Islam. I just don't see that happening, though. I mean, what do you think? If Ilia fought if Ilia fought Arman, how do you think that fight would go? For like
I
a
think
title
it's a very,
eliminator.
very competitive fight. But I don't think there's any world where Ilia accepts that he's going to take another fight before he fights for the belt.
Well, if the UFC says you gotta
Of
win
course.
a title eliminator, then
I just don't think he would accept. I just don't think he's going to bend the knee and do it.
What would he
I think
do?
he would rather sit and wait until an opportunity opens up. That's what I think he would do.
I mean, bro, because he's such a big superstar now. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC
Yeah,
today.
top 10.
So it's like probably he's like I think he's top 3 right now of active fighters.
They put it in terms of following on Instagram.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but okay, like maybe O'Malley has more followers, but then it's like
No, I think he has O'Malley beat.
okay, so all right, fair. I mean, yeah, okay. There's guys with more followers, but like he's on the hottest.
Wasn't O'Malley at one point talking about going up to fight Ilia?
Yeah,
That'd have been interesting.
interesting.
That'd have been interesting.
Then Marab handled
Oh
that.
my God, he's living rent free in your head.
Bro. So, I forgot what I was saying. Bro, I just feel like he's too big of a superstar for them to risk it against a guy like Arman.
But that's my point.
Yeah, like they're not going to do that.
I don't think the UFC would do that. I just don't think if Islam were to win, it does him no favors. Because they're going to say the same talking point again. You beat another 45er.
Do you think he cares?
But Justin Gaethje made a great point. The only guy to ever put his lights out, he said, was a 45er, coming up to 55. So he said, like, don't knock Ilia. And I think that was a very fair and valid point. It's like, yeah, we can say what we want, but even Volkanovski in the very first fight arguably won the fight against Islam. I will continuously say that till this day.
That's why I do think Ilia has a pretty good chance. Because I think he's a better grappler than Volk.
Overall, probably.
Like,
Submission skills, like finishes.
yeah. And I don't see, like you were talking about Mofsar, if he takes down Ilia and holds him there. Like, I just don't see, like, anyone able to, like, bully him on the ground, really. Like, he's good enough.
Yeah.
Islam maybe because he's a little bigger, but
Probably not bully him.
Yeah.
I don't think Mozart would bully him.
No,
Mozart
like,
is known for control.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think Mofsar could. I think it would be good scrambles.
Mozart got out-grappled by me.
Yeah.
And almost the entire Russian nation thinks, at least if you're from the Caucasus region, thinks that he is the next coming of, I don't even know which name to use because most of them are Muslim. So do I say
Muhammad?
Muhammad?
Yeah, maybe.
Was he a prophet?
Yeah, he's like the guy.
I don't want to get super like, because then you're an idiot. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like,
They think he's the next coming of something great. Yeah.
Next coming of something great. That's a very
Yeah.
PC way to put
Yeah.
it. The guy went tooth and nail with a D3 wrestler from New York.
That's crazy.
I'm a
Bro,
D3
but
wrestler, two-time
you
All-American.
You probably should have been a D1 wrestler.
I probably should have been a D1
like,
wrestler,
but
but
still,
I'm just
yeah.
going to use the accolades that I actually have.
Yeah.
Two-time All-American from D3, SUNY Cortland. You wrestled tooth and nail with a guy who never even made, like, the Olympic. Like,
Yeah.
I have no crazy credentials, but my skill backs it up for, my skill is my skill. Like, you could look at skill from other people and see who's has a higher ceiling based on their moves that they use, like what's more higher percentage at this level based on, like, if you're in elementary school, you might get away with a headlock. That shit's probably not going to work as good when you get to high school and when you get to college. And then when you get on an international level, maybe here and there, but overall that's probably a low percentage move with high risk of you losing points by going for it. So in terms of skill set, I think I have a very adaptable range of skills to help me in the wrestling department. But my point is, and I'm not shitting on Mosar. Mosar beat me. What I'm saying is, people are thinking that he's going to ragdoll or could ragdoll Ilia, and I'm just not understanding how. Based on what? Based on the fights that he had with other grapplers that couldn't do anything?
Well, I actually think that you're probably a tougher grappling matchup than Ilia is for him.
Take me out of the equation.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
I think he would probably fare better against Ilia than he fared against you.
You think so?
In grappling, if they were just grappling.
Well, that's interesting because I never thought. I don't think. It's hard for me to say that because we haven't seen enough of Ilia's grappling for me to give an honest assessment on that.
Well,
but his past fights, I've seen him do a lot of cool shit, like in the regionals. He's a pretty solid grappler. I'm going to say it might not be the sharpest in his skill set because he probably focuses more on the striking now these days.
That's what I think if he was as good of a grappler as you, he would use that. Like
Ilia?
Yeah. Like
honestly, if I was this good of a grappler and I was half of the striker of Ilia, like not even half the striker, because I think I'm a pretty good striker, but if I was half as confident in sitting in the pocket and exchanging with people, I'd probably lean more towards the striking.
Yeah.
It's more fun. But I'm not going to lie. It is more fun.
Bro, like, there's only so much time in the day. Like, there's a reason why, like, I mean, you're like a grappling savant. It's like that's where most of your time goes. That's like where it makes the most sense for you to put your resources in that department. But like you can't get that good at striking and that good at grappling, I don't think. I think, like, there's just only so much time and training you can do. So, like, if Ilia was that good at grappling, he would be grappling more, but I don't think he'd be as good of a striker, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But so I think like Movsar might have a better chance grappling Ilia. I just think Ilia's probably good enough that he's not going to get like submitted or anything.
Movsar is not submitting anybody.
That's the other thing.
Let's
Islam's
call it
a
what it
different
is.
story.
Islam's a different story.
Like Islam could submit almost anyone.
Yeah. And that's what makes the fight interesting because we don't know how good of a grappler Ilia truly is. But we know he's a good wrestler. He comes from a wrestling background and apparently has a BJJ black belt.
I wonder how his power would transfer over, too.
I think he would hit harder.
Really?
Yeah. I hit harder at 45. And that's like fact.
But, like, you're also hitting bigger guys.
What does that mean?
They could take more damage.
Yeah, but I'm also hitting harder.
Yeah, but it's not like you're taking the same power at 45 and hitting still 35ers, you know?
No, of course.
So
they're going to be bigger guys. They both go up, but your power goes up. And how much more does that benefit him? I don't know.
And Volk did knock down Islam in the first fight.
Yeah.
And, like, was raining punches down on him. So,
Dude,
I don't know, bro.
It's a very compelling fight. I would love to see it. I mean, before I was kind of on the train of I think Ilia needs to fight one before he fights. But now I can see from the other perspective, there's just too many variables for the UFC to risk losing a bona fide contender, a sure, huge payday.
Super fight.
That's a super fight to make. To risk that against another tough dude, Arman, who went tooth and nail with Islam the first time. And I was really looking forward to the second fight because I truly did feel Arman, with the time and experience he had in a full camp, there was a potential for him to get the upset. So with that said, after Islam did what he did to Renato Moicano, I was kind of like, maybe he was going to crush Arman. Maybe he would have. I have no idea. So now it's just we don't know. These guys don't fight as often for us to really have a good sense and feel on where all their skill is at. We're just making it based on speculation from previous fights. And based on that, based on Volk and Islam 1, based on Max coming up from 45 to 55 versus Gaethje, and based on what Ilia Topuria has done to Volk and Max, and obviously both of those situations were very... One guy went up to 55, came back down. One guy went up to 55 twice. First one was really close, then took it on short nose, got knocked out, came back down. Like, these are all variables that people need to consider. But if we're just looking at the skill, because once the chin is broken in. Like, someone cracks you again, good, you're probably going down or you're probably going to have your knees buckled really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, I guess what do you think the UFC does matchup wise? Do you think it goes like maybe Max fights Armin?
that would be a fun fight.
Yeah, that would be really fun. Cause I don't think Dana already said. Like now that Ilya's gone up, I would think the right move is Armin versus Islam, and then Ilya versus Islam after if Islam wins. But they're not going to give Armin a title shot again. So then it's probably just.
I'm kind of confused why they wouldn't just give Armin the title shot again, but
I don't get that. He must have done something.
had to. Maybe they didn't like the videos with Nina, which would be very silly in my opinion. But
I mean, he must have they must not like the way he pulled out. Pause.
how did he pull out on you?
Pause.
What happened?
Swiftly.
He pulled out on you swiftly?
Not on me.
Oh. That's exactly how he pulled out on you.
He didn't pull out on me. Stop.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
He pulled out on somebody, but not me. Fucking, I don't know, bro. I guess they'll probably do Ilya versus Islam. Next.
Might as well. Just get it done.
Yeah,
Give the
because you
fight
can't lose that super fight.
Yeah, and if you're talking about giving the fans the fights that they want to see, that's the fight that the fans want to see. O'Malley versus Merab is not the fight that the fans want to see.
But what is the fight that they want? Well, hold on. We'll get to that. So Ilya versus Islam. Do you think Ilya gets pay-per-view points for that fight since he's not a title holder anymore?
He should.
I think he should.
I think that would be crazy work if they try to deny him that.
Well, I don't think you go up if there's no pay-per-view points. Like you just stay right there.
They got to.
There's no way. Like also he deserves it, bro. Honestly he is like today's Conor. Like if there's anyone that close.
Yeah.
Or Pereira. It's like but I think Ilya more, honestly. Like right now, just the way he's done it, he's got the whole fucking Spain behind him. Like,
Yeah, but I think Pereira might be more popular on the media. I think. Could be wrong. Don't judge me.
probably, but like Ilya has like the aura right now.
Let's see. Poatan 6.5 million.
I think Ilya's at like 7.
Max is Volkanovski is 2.6. Topuria 6.8.
Yeah.
So he's more than Poatan.
What I tell you, bro, Ilya's of the active fighters / champions right now. I'm pretty sure he's the most popular. Like you can't count Conor.
No.
I think Dustin's up there too.
Dustin is. Let's see.
But
5.4.
also, it's kind of like the follower count doesn't really matter. It does in a way, but like views per like reel is really like who's the most popular right now.
I don't know. I don't follow that shit.
That would be like the indicator. But that's me being a social media nerd.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
You don't want to know.
Mid podcast, he's just looking at some bullshit right now.
It is some bullshit.
Fucking. Yeah, I think they should do Ilya.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Imagine Ilya beats Islam, bro. And
No, that would be madness. But it's very possible.
who honestly, let's assume that title fight happens, Ilya versus Islam. Who do you think actually, like, break it down? Who do you think actually wins?
I feel like no matter what I say, people are going to be pissed. Someone is going to be pissed. I'm either going to be a Dagestani hater or I'm going to be, oh, how can you not pick Merab's brother? This is going to be...
Fair.
No matter what, I'm going to get crucified.
Okay,
But
well,
I will say the speed advantage, Ilia Topuria, boxing speed, boxing punches, Ilia Topuria. Calf kicks, which is a very dangerous weapon. I think Ilia Topuria uses those way better than Islam Makhachev. I don't think Makhachev really throws kicks like calf kicks or leg kicks. Wrestling, control, and submissions, I'm going to lean towards Islam Makhachev. Fight IQ, that's hard. Both guys are really, really good. I think they're neck and neck. It's hard for me
Yeah.
to pick. because I've seen both guys make adjustments in fights.
I would lean Ilia on that. I think.
Strength, I'm going towards Islam.
Yeah.
But that's in the cardio. Islam cuts so much weight, I think he gets tired in the later rounds. So I'm not sure who would I lean towards on that department. I think that might be relatively close. It's a very interesting fight.
Yeah, bro.
Hopefully it gets made.
Bro, honestly, it's like if Ilia's power transfers up,
there's no way he couldn't.
Like, he's going to crack Islam. Unless Islam just wears him down in the first, like, 6-7 minutes of the
fight. You
fight.
Got to close the distance to do that. You're walking into dangerous territory right there.
I mean, but Islam has the range, too. Like, but
the reach,
he could make it a boring-ass fight, honestly.
Of course.
And just pick him apart from distance.
Do like a Blachowicz versus Adesanya.
That would be terrible. I don't know. So you don't have a prediction? You don't got anything for me?
I don't have a prediction for this one. I think it's gonna be a great fight. That's my prediction. I think whoever wins should drink some Funk Harbor. That's what I think.
Whoever loses or wins. Wait, so that's basically you saying your prediction right there. Because Islam can't drink Funk Harbor. So you're saying...
He could if he wanted to.
No, he can't because Allah. So...
Doesn't mean he physically can't.
No, like he can't. Like Allah won't let him.
Religiously, he shouldn't. Religiously, he can't. Doesn't mean he can't.
So Aljo thinks Ilia's going to knock out Islam. That's his prediction. Ilia vacates. He leaves a vacuum. He leaves a power vacuum at featherweight. There's an empty title. Volk's getting his shot against Diego Lopes. How do you see that one going?
I think Volkanovski is going to put the beats on Lopes.
Do you have beef with Diego Lopes? Like,
no, but I would have said that more respectfully had him and his manager not tried to attack me as if I said anything disrespectful to them. I would have been more politically correct about it, but I truly do think Volk is going to put the beats on him.
And you don't think...
And I'm going to give them the reason why Volk is going to whoop that ass.
All right, let's hear it.
And they can use this as hate or they can use it as fuel to improve and get better and give themselves a fighting chance.
This is free game.
Volkanovski is coming with a vengeance. He is in phenomenal shape. What he does great versus what Diego Lopes does great is not the same. Volk is super well-rounded. He's strong in every single department. Maybe not a submission specialist, but he's very hip to the grappling game, where Diego Lopes is a very good grappler in terms of submission threats. But when it comes to striking, he is an all-or-nothing guy in the first round. There's no pacing about for Diego Lopes. The best fight he's had so far to date, where he looked the most technically composed and most technically sharp, would be the fight with Brian Ortega. Now, with the Brian Ortega fight, I don't think that was the best version of Brian Ortega. And respectfully, that is the reason why I wanted to fight Brian Ortega. Because he's the highest ranked guy and in a positioning where he's fought for the belt a couple of times. And he might not be in the headspace to really want to compete at the highest level anymore. So
he also rolled his ankle in that fight. Right.
No, that was the other one. That was Yair Rodriguez. We went over this.
No. He hurt his shoulder in that fight. Maybe I'm wrong.
You said rolled his ankle.
No, I'm pretty sure right at the beginning he rolled his ankle.
Where he jumped up. That was Yair Rodriguez. We went over this. We literally had the same exact conversation.
I know we did, but I still think you're wrong. But whatever.
We looked at the video.
Nah, it's fine. Just it couldn't continue.
All right, chat. Definitely check this because we had the same conversation.
Bro, it's like
they said this in the comments too. It was Yair Rodriguez.
Also, this chat, bro, can go fuck themselves because they always talk shit about me. So fuck you. Anyway, continue. You were saying that you wanted to fight this, so this is gonna get clipped right here.
That's fine. The reason I wanted to fight Brian Ortega is not because I don't like him. Me and Brian, we fought on the same cards multiple times together. I fought Marlon Moraes in Fresno when he fought Cub Swanson. I got starch. He won. Got a finish. He looked great. I looked like shit. He fought Renato Moicano. Came back in the third round. I beat Renan Barao. He was getting his ass kicked. Came back. Showed a heart of a lion. We hung out that weekend in Anaheim. Like, that's the homie. Super chill. We've trained together down in Huntington Beach. But if I had to look at the division and pick a choice, I want the highest ranked guy that's going to get me closest to the title shot. Who was that person? It was Brian Ortega at the time. So it made the most sense to call out Brian Ortega, who I had questions about in regards to, does he still desire to, does it matter to him as much if he were to win or lose, where both of us 10 years ago, winning and losing is everything. Like, you can even say the same thing about me. Winning and losing is not the end of the world anymore for me, where back in the days, I need to win. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, now I need to win, but it's not like my life is depending
You're
on
already
it.
set for life.
Yeah, but winning is great because it puts me in another position to challenge for a title again. So, of course, I want to still win. I want to stick around with the company. I want to still be able to make money to do cool things with my friends.
And, bro, now you know what it's like to be champion. You want that again.
Yes,
like
100%.
Yeah, that's motivating.
But some people, when they get that taste, they either still continue to have the desire to compete or they don't. And that's why, for me, after my fight with Mosar, I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do from here. I was like, I'm in a weird limbo position. Like, who do I fight next? Where do I go from here? What's next? Do I fight up-and-comers? Like, what's the motivation and what's the happiness in that? There's not a lot of that for me. Where I felt Brian Ortega might have hit a position like that with his personal life. Maybe he wants to fight, make a little extra money. Maybe he's not thinking about the belt. Maybe he just wants to compete. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's the right fight. That's the right matchup for me. I think it puts me in a position, if I beat Ortega, I am now number 3 in the list, and I get a chance probably to get the next crack at the title. Diego Lopes fights him. That was the best he's ever looked. Diego Lopes, the most technically sound he's ever looked. You watch a lot of his other fights, the short notice with Dan Ige. Dan Ige's a dog, though. His fight with Sadiq Youssef, I don't really rate that one too much. Not saying no disrespect to Sadiq. I think the same thing I said about Diego. He's an all-or-nothing blitz type of fighter. He runs at you, sprints at you in the first minute or two, and if he clips you, he smells blood in the water, and he's very, very good at finishing fights from there. If that is his game plan against Volkanovski, and he has no plan B, Diego Lopes is going to lose this fight. There's no other way to say it. He's not going 5 rounds toe-to-toe with Alex Volkanovski. It's just not happening.
But, bro, I don't... He definitely could clip Volk.
But I never said he couldn't.
No, I know, but, like,
I never once said Diego can't clip Volk. Never once said that. I think his game plan is to get him out of there in round 1. Because if he doesn't, the longer that fight goes, I think Volk does this, Lopes does this in a 5-round fight.
So, I mean, but you trained with Volk.
I
just
did.
Now. So, do you feel like he's recovered and, like, ready for that? Because, bro, like, that's what, bro, Diego Lopes does that shit. Like, it's not, to me, that seems very possible.
I trained with Diego Lopes once before, too, and I was not impressed.
Wow.
And it wasn't, I don't know if it was a respect thing. I don't know if he was just trying to honey dick me and all the other guys he was training with. I was actually annoyed because I was like, yo, I actually like you as a fighter, and for you to come in here and train with us like this is actually very disappointing and underwhelming. And I know he had just hurt his shoulder, and so did I. We were both doing PT around the same time. I was like, damn, dude, I wish you like gave us a little more, because it was just like,
yeah, right.
It was kind of a letdown. It was just like,
he like barely trained.
No, not barely trained. I felt like he barely tried.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if he was doing it intentionally, just trying to see where we were at, but it was kind of, I was shockingly disappointed with the training session. Mm-hmm. Because he fights one way and then he trained another way, and I was just like, I can understand if you're one of those guys who just goes light like this in training all the time, because I know guys like that. But the way he fights is not the way he trains, at least that one day. But again, just going back to what they've done in the cage, I think Volk taking the time off, me seeing where Volk was at firsthand, and me understanding how Diego Lopes's fight, his typical fights. See, people are going to say I'm hating. I'm not fucking hating. Look at the highlights of Diego Lopes and look at the highlights of Volkanovski. Look at the fight IQ. Diego Lopes is way more hittable than Alex Volkanovski. Now, this Alex Volkanovski is way different than the Alex Volkanovski before Islam Makhachev 2. Very different.
How?
again, we have that thing with the chin. Once that chin is broken in, and you make a quick turnaround like that, and you get it broken in again, of course he took the time off, but we don't know what he's going to look like coming back. So if Diego Lopes is looking at this situation the same way I was looking at a situation with possibly hoping to get a fight with Ortega, probably a more comfortable style matchup with the highest ranked guy. Again, it's about fighting for the belt. So why would I shoot for the most difficult style and the lower ranked guy where there's a guy much higher in the rankings that puts me one step closer to the title and a more favorable style? You're going to take the one that's going to get you closer to the title. We're here, we're playing chess. This is not checkers. So if he's looking at Volkanovski like this, I could see the thought process. And again, and my tweet was, I thought it was respectful. I said, I don't think he deserves to get the belt, the title shot, but he's in the position, and no fighter in their right mind will say no to a title shot because they don't think it's the right thing to do. That would be stupid. I think anybody would agree with that. I think Lopes would have been smart enough to agree with that. Like, yeah, you're damn right. They offered me a title shot. Why would I turn it down?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Somehow, him and his manager took that as disrespect, and I even said, I hope he makes the most of it. There's no ill will there whatsoever. I have no jealousy of any of these guys. Like, fuck am I jealous about?
Bro, Movsar beat him. Like
that's my point.
Like I don't
care that Movsar beat me. It's the fact that he has the most. He has the best wins right now in terms of, you could say the win streak, you could say the activity. Those are all fair arguments. All I'm saying is he beat the guy who's getting the title shot, and he just fought me not too long ago.
Yeah, he
so
just won. Yeah,
I'm not understanding the math here. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, I think Movsar deserves it, but Diego's getting it. Diego, you better make the most of it.
It's not like Diego's
How's
like
that
completely undeserving of that type of a fight, but it's just there's one guy who probably deserves it more. It's Movsar.
Yes.
And he's on the longer win streak. He beat Diego. It's like, I don't see what's so controversial about that. What? So wait, I was reading.
His manager told me, get better, not don't be bitter, get better. And I'm like, what the fuck am I bitter about?
Bro, you should fight Diego Lopes after Volk beats him.
I mean, at some point I'm going to have to fight these guys, right? So.
I mean, I feel like that's a fight you have like wanted before.
No, I called them out before because there was nobody called, like there was nothing happening in the division.
So what, bro? People are fucking retarded. This is crazy.
We're in the fight business. Like, I'm gonna have. They're not Marab. They're not my best friends. Like, I gotta make money too, bro. I got a family to feed also. Like, so sign me up. If Lopes loses, you're damn right I'm calling him out.
I mean, that makes sense. There's a storyline there.
You know, April's not too far. If I have to wait, fine. It is what it is. And it has nothing to do with this whole situation. It's just a matchup.
That's a great matchup.
It's a matchup where I still think the same thing.
I actually think that's like you and Movsar, just way more exciting.
No, it's not like me and Movsar at all.
Two sick grapplers?
He's a jiu-jitsu guy. It's not a grappler.
Well, that's what I'm saying. More exciting. More crazy scrambles. He's going to come at you.
I see your point. Okay, I see your point.
Two high-level grapplers from that standpoint. Yeah,
I see your point now.
It's different than him. I know he's not a wrestler like Movsar, but yeah, like that's just a sick fight.
It would be a fun fight, me versus Diego Lopes, and I'm here for it. So, and I think now that he beat Brian Ortega, if Brian Ortega was ranked lower, I wouldn't be calling out Brian Ortega. Now that Lopes is in the position where I think he's ranked number 2 or 3 now, I'm gonna call the guy who I think is the highest ranked and probably the more favorable style for me to beat. And that is Diego Lopes. That's all I'm here to fight for gold.
I'm just thinking people are going to shit on you for this right now.
But how?
Because you're literally just saying like...
Give me the hardest fights with the lowest ranking possible. Yeah. That is so stupid.
But people don't want to hear that shit, bro.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I know.
What did my man Jakar Klaus say? He said, give me the easiest fight for the most amount of money. I'm like, yeah, that's guys, this is the game. This is prize fighting. O'Malley took the easiest fights for the most amount of money until he had one fight, had a no contest, then he got bumped up and promoted to a big fight, managed to squeak out a split decision.
He lost that fight, too.
And got rewarded with a title shot. What am I doing that's different? How can I be hated on and these guys don't get hated on? Like, tell me what is the difference?
Bro, you know what it is? It's because you just, like, you argue with them and, like it just gives them more, like, I don't know, like, you fuel their, like, hatred, I think. By just like you arguing with them makes them dig their heels in more against you. Like,
I guess.
you know what I mean?
I guess.
And you're smarter than them. So it's like I hate when I'm beefing with somebody and then they just say some shit that's like, fuck, you're right. And then I hate you even more.
Yeah. But I mean,
so
you had a career, bro, in fighting, or even like a gig. You're gonna take a less paying gig because you're gonna take a less paying gig that requires way more work over the gig that's gonna pay you way more to do a lot less. This is not rocket science.
No, of course. I have done that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like if Diego Lopes is now the highest ranked guy, and if he loses, and he's in a position where I can call him out, because I won my next fight, and of course I got to win my next fight, otherwise none of this shit matters anyway. Then I'm gonna do that because why would I? I don't know. Like, why am I trying to swim upstream?
Who's his manager?
When I could just get out the water and walk up the hill.
No, of course. I mean, bro,
the Jason House guy, who I don't even want to get into his personal issues, but you guys can look that up for yourself.
Wait, huh? I thought he was the guy with the gambling thing.
Who's that?
Who was the guy who got kicked out because of the gambling Discord?
Oh, that's James Krause.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He was a fighter.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Jason House. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a coach too, right? James Krause?
Yes.
Okay. My bad. Wow, that's crazy.
No, House is, I quoted House when I tweeted him because he's like a house manager. Like, everyone makes the gossip and rumors about him and the business, the type of shady deals he does with his guys, like pitting them against each other, or because he's got so many guys, or using one guy to get another guy. It's shady, dirty stuff. And I'm just like, yo, bro, don't let me start attacking you, because I'll tell you about yourself real quick. Ain't nothing nice that I can say that you've done for your fighters. Your fighters who are winning, it's not because of you. You can say you got them the opportunity. What you do for the opportunity? Which other fighter did you have to put down to get that fighter said opportunity?
Wow.
And if we want to take it there, we can take it there. I am willing. So
I'm clipping the shit out of this.
It is what it is. I'm nice to people who are nice to me. If you want to be a dick, don't let the smile fool you, baby.
That's hilarious.
Don't let the smile fool you, though. Seriously. And I did not threaten him. I said, you're going to see me in person. Like, I hope you talk this tough and this confident. And when I approach you about it, or don't try to blackball me from events because you're in the house. Jason House is in the house and has probable strings that he could pull to avoid conflict. Dude, I don't run up to people throwing punches and shit like that. I'm not one of these crazy guys. I'm literally going to come up to you and, like a man, we have a conversation. And I think that's the more respectable thing you could do. Like, what am I fighting Jason House for? I'm not getting paid for fighting Jason House. The fuck does that do for me other than hurt my pockets? It's stupid. Like, oh, that could be taken as a threat. I'm like, show me the part that's a threat, and then I'll revise the tweet. But I don't see a threat here.
I didn't think.
And I told Diego the same thing. It's like, this back and forth is stupid, bro. Like, I'm not a little kid no more. Like, we can just talk in person.
Maybe he feels.
I said doorknob. I called him a knob, and he took that as, I think he thought that meant I was calling him idiots. And some people say that does mean idiot. Some people means, I thought it just meant like dickhead. Like, I think there's like, if I was in person, I was like, yeah, you're a fucking dickhead. Like, I don't think that was a bad thing to call you anyway. Like, we're talking shit to each other. I don't think anything is off the table. That's the way I look at it. We're shit talking each other.
Wait, but what did you say that pissed off Diego? You said he didn't deserve the title shot.
That was the original thing.
But you know what?
He put laughing emojis. And I was like, you want to let us in on the joke? I'm confused. And then he said, I don't turn down fights unlike you and a lot of these other guys. I'm like, well, that's cool and all, but I'm not going to take a fight that makes no sense for me to take.
Wait, what fight did you turn down?
They offered me Pitbull, but it was on like 5 weeks' notice. And I was in Thailand.
Okay, so that's, okay, yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, no, I wasn't in Thailand. I was in Miami.
Okay.
Right before I went to Thailand. It was literally right before I went to Thailand.
Like the day before, yeah.
Like a week. And I was like, dude, I would love the opportunity. I just don't think that this makes sense for me. I got a lot of stuff going on that I committed to. And mind you, I asked the UFC for March in December.
Yeah, but they didn't give you.
They kept saying next week, next week, next week. And mind you, the UFC has 700 fighters. So, of course, I'm not priority number one. I'm not the champion, whatever. So I get that I'm not the main guy that they have to cater to. But I'm also following up, and I don't want to be the annoying guy sending constant text messages and annoying the shit out of my manager, asking him constant questions to harass them too. So I asked for March. I was like, please let me know. Nothing happened. So guess what? I took my foot off the gas, and I started to get all my shit in order so that I could get my life in order. So this way, I'm at least prepared before the next training camp comes, and I don't have to be distracted with doing other shit in the middle of training camp. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry I turned down a fight that didn't make sense for me at the time when I have asked for an opportunity to fight for March. I said, if it's probably going to be March or April, I would like to return. I was like, so let me know which one is going to be. Whatever. So at this point now, I'm just training, getting back in shape, and now I'm in a good position to I could take a short notice fight now. Not in 2 weeks, but I could take one that's going to be in 5 weeks. I'm in good enough shape to where I'm like, that wouldn't be too hard at all. But yeah, I should take short notice fights and turn down fights. Like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that. I'm past that point of my career where I was the short notice king. I don't need to do that anymore. But whatever.
I mean, fair. What are you gonna do, bro?
Just piss a lot of people off and piss in their Cheerios.
That's your thing, bro.
I piss people off in the morning.
Oh, Michael Chandler's fighting Paddy Pimblett.
That's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight.
I actually have zero idea who's gonna win that fucking fight, bro.
Call me crazy, but I think this is a tailor-made matchup stylistically for Paddy Pimblett to win and to get ranked.
Really?
Get ranked high.
Really?
Yes.
How?
His grappling. His grappling is very, very underrated. Charles got his back like that. Paddy has very, very unassuming jiu-jitsu. He might not look physically imposing. He might turn to a fat slob when he's out of camp. But when the guy is shredded and gets lean and mean, he's a gamer. Yeah, he didn't look good against Jared Gordon, but he bounced back in his fight after that.
And looked mediocre.
I mean,
against Tony Ferguson, who's on an 18-fight losing streak.
Yeah, but then he beat Bobby Green.
Who beat Bobby Green?
Pimblett didn't he?
After Tony?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, no? Now we got to confirm this because I don't want to be talking about my ass.
I'm not talking shit, by the way.
Paddy Pimblett.
I just fuck with Michael Chandler. But
No, I do too, but this is what I'm saying. Like, I try not to be biased when I'm, like, breaking down fights.
You're right. You know what? I hate that you're right, though.
Yeah, he beat Bobby Green last. He submitted him.
I hate that you're fucking right.
Triangle choke in round 1.
You're
Bobby, like, took him down. It was, like, the weirdest, ugliest takedown. And I was just like, no, Bobby, get out of it. Bobby, Bobby, it's too late.
Yeah,
And
Michael
Bobby's the
Chandler's
homie.
one thing he's not good at is jiu-jitsu. Or, like, fighting smart.
Yeah.
And, like, I just feel like...
Which he is very capable of doing.
Bro, he would literally be champion.
World champ.
World champion.
With his skill set.
If he fought, like, 20% higher IQ.
His physique, his skill set, his attitude, like, that's a hard guy to kill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think he could be his own worst enemy in terms of entertainment first, winning second, maybe even third.
Yeah, because, bro, he'd be champ.
Yeah. It was so badass what he did with Charles Oliveira the second time. Even though there was a lot of, like, dirty stuff happening in the fights, like, his MO is, like, he does a lot of cheeky things. I don't even know if it's intentional or if it's just he's in such survival mode that he's just doing whatever. He's just in there scrapping.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say, like, yo, he's an intentionally dirty fighter.
No.
I don't think I could actually say that.
He's like bro, I think he's too nice of a guy to actually, like, try to fuck you over in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's like he just sees red. But, like,
he just sees red just like Bradley Martin.
Bro, fucking, yeah, Patty's going to beat him. I hate that. That sucks. That sucks, bro. The UFC will just let a guy sit until the perfect
opportunity
where they could just snipe you into, like, a title shot.
What does this matchup remind you of?
O'Malley versus Peter Yan.
Huh?
No?
No, I didn't say anything.
That's what they fucking do, bro. They're so fucking good at what they do.
You got to make the right
hate-
matchups.
This is why I don't watch UFC anymore. Like, dead ass. Like, I only watch, like, certain fights.
I watch all of them.
I know, but... Like, I watch your fights. Sometimes when Dennis fights, I watch him.
And then you got... Yeah,
That wasn't
you
funny.
got to think about it. It's like if Patty could avoid the big punches of Michael Chandler, stay long with his kicks like he normally does, he leaves his chin up in the air, so he could get floored,
That's why, bro, he doesn't avoid any strikes.
but he'll pull guard. Patty, he'll
Yeah,
jump
but
guard, he'll
bro,
pull guard.
if Chandler could just be, like, kindergarten level intelligence.
Chandler, to win this fight, Chandler needs to utilize the calf kick from the outside, use his feints. That's going to be huge. Attack the body. Not avoid the clinch. Because if he clinches Patty, Patty's going to tie him up. And if Patty can't take him down with a trip or a judo sweep, something, he's going to pull guard. He's going to jump guard with him. And I think that's literally all he has to do to win. Patty leaves his chin up. When there's an opportunity to go
He's gonna
body
get
head,
clapped.
you can crack the shit out of him.
He's going to get clapped.
But if he gets tied up, Patty's pulling guard or taking him down and is going to Betty spaghetti him.
It's over.
And somehow make it ugly where he could get him on the cage, do some type of funky back take, and that's going to be the fight.
I have a question. Is Patty the nastiest jiu-jitsu finisher in the UFC right now? Like, he'll be just pull it out of fucking thin air, bro.
I'm going to say no.
Who is?
I'm still up there with Oliveira. And Pantoja.
Yeah, 'cause
Pantoja, too.
I don't know. Definitely Charles. I agree with that. But, bro, Patty will just literally like jump up and fucking choke you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like, there's
of
no
course.
like setup or nothing. It's just like 1 second he's standing, the next he's like you're getting choked while you're standing up.
Him, Islam.
He's literally like been against the fence, just dug his hand in there, and then like jumped guard in midair and pulled you down and choked guys out like out of nowhere.
It's good, man. He understands his body type. He's long, lanky. He gets like leverage in weird positions. Like Patty's very unassuming. He might not look like a killer, but he's a gamer, man. And I think that's the most important.
Either Chandler's gonna knock him out, or Patty's gonna submit him.
I think Patty submits.
Then
I mean, Chandler's not easy to submit either. I've trained with him before, like maybe like 10 years ago, maybe at this point.
but
He's very hard to submit, but I was also very tiny at the time. So a guy his size.
but he's been submitted by less dangerous guys, like Dustin Poirier.
It's all about the positioning too. He probably didn't respect the grappling game of Poirier when he was in that position. And Poirier's probably like, yeah, you forgot. You must have forgot.
And then Charles knocked him out, right?
Yeah, I think so. The left hook, followed up with the punching.
Chandler's a savage though, bro, because he almost got Charles out of there in that second fight.
Both fights. The first fight. And
I
the
know, but
second.
like he was getting his ass kicked and then just almost knocked him out in like the fourth round.
He was doing something dirty though. I think it's either a headbutt or something.
Okay, fair.
In that whole sequence where he was coming back, he was doing something that was like, yo, I think it was Keith Peterson who was roughing. I was like, yo, Keith, how are you not seeing what he's doing right now? This is not good.
Yo, bro, imagine you're like
shots to the back of the head.
Oh yeah, but
Nah, he was fucking him up with those shots in the back of his head. And Keith didn't call any of them.
I could see how he would think he wasn't though in the moment.
Yeah, because he just
Because
saw
they were
red.
like kind of like
Nah, he just saw red, bro.
I don't know.
He Bradley Martin that shit. Saw red, started hammer fisting away. I'm like, yo, bro, if they stop the fight,
He
on
started
the back of
fisting. He started fisting away.
he started fisting away.
That's crazy.
It's not good.
Is that what he's gonna do to Patty? He's gonna fist him.
I think one of these guys is getting fisted. Yo,
I need to go to bed.
all these guys got fights. I'm just here.
Who do you want to fight, bro? Call your shot.
The only fights that make sense for me right now, Arnold Allen. He's like the only available on highest ranked guy that I could fight.
What if they like try to get you to fight like number 13 or some shit?
I have to make a decision. I lost a razor close fight, man. It's so crazy to me. I feel like any other day, like a different fight card, I probably win. Which is the crazy part. Somehow Cyril Gane beat Alex Volkov. Randy Brown lost to Brian Battle. And I lost to Mosar. I am almost convinced if it was another day, I win that fight.
Yeah, the judging was ass that day.
So it is what it is. It's happened. I lost. Moving on to the next. So we'll see what's next.
That's it.
Damn. What has my life become? I'm in a weird spot. It's like I train with Danny Gay. I train with Bryce more frequently now. Giga Chikadze is really good friends with Marab. I'm cool with Giga too. Those are like three guys right there on the list that's like all on the top of the division, which just makes things even more complicated. Yeah, so I'm in a weird spot. At 35, I didn't have this problem. I didn't have this.
I mean, you had the Marab.
Yeah, but before any of that even happened, we were so far apart because I had so many more fights. I was able to fight just about anybody, no problem. It wasn't until he beat who? John Dodson?
Marab?
Yeah, that he got ranked, and then... But again, it was only one person. Everybody else was like, I can fight any one of these guys, not a problem. Sign me up tomorrow. But that's where things are at. So, damn.
What's wrong, bro?
This is disappointing. This is depressing.
What is? You're fucking multimillionaire, bro. What is depressing?
I don't know what to do with my life
You just got paid
right now.
mad bread to go to Thailand. You just got paid like what an accountant gets paid for their whole year, like in a month. What's wrong?
I want to compete.
You don't know what to do with your life right now?
As a competitor, no, I don't.
So I have a question. So like that shit Volk said about like he got depressed.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're getting at right now?
No.
Like you don't know what to do with your life right now? That sounds kind of like depressed, you know?
No. It's more like I don't think I get depressed.
But just like aimless?
Yeah. I wouldn't classify that as depression.
No.
But I'm just kind of like in this void. It's like Sonic in the prism space. I'm just in this.
Can you give us like a more modern reference for us younger folk that aren't middle-aged?
This is actually probably come out last year or 2 years ago on Netflix.
Oh, all right. I
But-
don't watch that shit.
Yeah, I know. I watched it the other day, binged on it. It was kind of cool.
Okay.
But I'm in a void where I don't know where the fuck to go in my fighting career.
What are you battling with? Like, explain.
Like, what do I do? Do I fight the younger up-and-comers again just to fight? Then again, what's the point of that? It's like, yeah, I get money, but there's no goal.
Hold
the goal for me is not money anymore.
No,
the goal for me is a belt.
But hold on. It's one, money,
Gold.
and two, you only probably have to do that one time.
Gold.
Yeah, but things went the way they went. If you have to fight a young up and coming guy and knock his ass back into fucking place, and then go back on your journey to a title, is that really so bad? I mean, I get it. It's not what you wanted, but
You know what it is? had to do that before when I got knocked out by Marlon Moraes. I had to fight 2 up and comers, and the first one was Brett Johns, and I asked my matchmaker at the time, because he had just got ranked 15th, and I beat him. And he was just like, I went from top 10. He was like, yeah, this is your situation right now. So I had to fight him. And then I beat him. Then they give me Cody Stamen. And I was annoyed by it. And I go like, why am I fighting another fucking, like, why am I not fighting up? And he was like, well, I think he said you got brutally knocked out, or you just came off a knockout loss. You just won by decision. Yes, no, I'm not kidding you. This fight is the fight. Because I asked him, I was like, are you joking right now? This is who I have to fight? Like, seriously? Like, I thought I was fighting up. It's like, no, I'm not joking. You just got KO'd. You just won by decision. This is the fight. And it was just like, all right, whatever. Took the fight. So I've literally fought every one of these guys put in front of me.
I mean, so what is it like?
I'm 35 now. I'm not that 26, 27-year-old kid anymore.
I get it, but
so fighting the young 21, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, 24-year-old, even 25-year-old, it's just...
is it like a status?
Yeah,
thing?
there's no excitement in that. When I was to fight Mozart, there was no excitement for me to get up in the morning to go fight Mozart, other than his ranking number that he had. Nobody knows who he is. I'm explaining to my friends, no, this guy is actually really good. He's Russian. He's undefeated. Yeah, but I've never even seen him fight one time. I'm like, that's the problem. That's why I didn't want this fight.
So, like, it just has to feel big to you now?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of, like, I'm just fighting?
Because it's not, you don't just want to fight. Like, it's not like the love of the game.
No, there's a love of the game, but it's also the love of the game to fight. Like, I feel like I've paid enough dues, respectfully, like, to the bosses and everything, but I do feel like I've paid enough dues to fight guys that are established versus fighting guys who are trying to make a name off of me.
So, I mean, they haven't even offered you a guy like that yet.
No, but I'm with everyone booked up right now.
Yeah, that's what you're anticipating?
That is 100% what they're probably going to throw my way, and I'm just like...
I mean, they offered you Pitbull.
Yes, but I was not their first choice. It was only a convenience thing, and if I could do it on short notice. I couldn't do it on short notice, so that fight was no longer on the table. So here I am, without a dance partner, trying to figure out what the fuck is next. I feel like Drake right now. What's next?
I have a question. Like, do you think you'll have this aimlessness feeling when you're retired? Or is it just because you are in limbo right now and you're still in the middle of a fighting career, but you don't know what's next in that career? Like, is it the lack of a fight, or is it...
You know what it is? When I came up in my career, I would take short notice fights all the time. When I first started, I was always in the gym training 2-3 times a day at minimum. After I fight, take a short notice fight, I take maybe a week off, at the most 2 if I got banged up really, really good. And I come right back in, make sure I was still in shape so I could take another short notice fight. And I was doing that back to back all the time. So my life, my desire, my purpose, my motivation was always just competing, trying to be the best version of myself, and with the goal, get to the UFC. Then the next goal was, okay, I'm in the UFC now. Now what's next? I got to win these fights. I got to get finishes. I want to fight for the belt. I want to be one of the next youngest champions of all time. This is when I was chasing John Jones status. I had my first 2 losses. So I've always had goals. So now I'm at a point where it's like, well, that's essentially what it is. It's like, what is the end goal in fighting these young guys? Is other than if there's a promise that I could get back to a top 5 fight, okay.
What if it's just
that
like
gives me something.
proving you're the fucking guy still? Like,
yeah, I thought about that too. I thought about multiple ways of looking at this.
doesn't excite.
But there's no there's no motivation is where I'm getting at. Mind you, to get up and want to train, as hard as I train, once or twice a day, there's got to be some type of reward. There's got to be some type of fulfillment. I'm on a journey, but the journey has to mean
What if it's
something.
just like self-mastery? Like,
I mean, there's that too.
like just fucking like, because I honestly think you would train once a day post-fighting.
Yeah, of course.
You would go do 8 grappling rounds just because you fucking...
Of course.
Bro, that's like what you're best at in this universe. Like,
I'll do that all day long.
Yeah, like
when I'm retired.
bro, you're the best in the world at that. Like, even if you retire today.
But I know fighting is a very dangerous game. So for me to take a fight, my head needs to be in it. And the last time my head wasn't in it, I lost. And I looked like shit. Didn't look like myself. Moved weird. Or looking back at it, I'm just like, yo, I'm looking at all these things. My reaction time was bad. Everything was just...
You're talking about O'Malley?
Yeah, that was just not a great fight. And I go back to just, if my head was in it, I know for a fact, 100%, like, that's a completely different result all day long. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Everyone knows that.
I even said, like, if me and him were ever fight again, he would have to come up to 45. I ain't going back down. Like, I have no revenge.
Bro, what you did to Calvin Kattar was proof of what you just said.
So I would love for him to come up to 45. I would love for Piotr Jan to come up to 45. Those are fights that would excite me. You know what I mean? Like, there's name value there. Even though one guy has name value completely different than the other, but still name value nonetheless, and there's history. But for these other young up-and-comer guys with no real prestige behind them yet, and mind you, they have to fight someone to eventually get there, right? There's going to have to be a changing of the guard at some point. But if they were ranked higher, okay, no problem. But if they have no number by their name, the young up-and-coming, like, what does that do for me? There's no, I don't know. I'm just fighting a dangerous guy that nobody knows.
So would you decline the fight?
Well, I haven't been offered a fight, so I don't know.
Like, if it's that or nothing, or would you just retire?
No, I want to retire.
Like, if you go, are you
retire.
serious? And Shelby goes, I'm dead serious.
No, I wouldn't retire. I wouldn't retire. I would only know if I were to reach that crossroads, and then I would have to make a soul searching decision, and either push and wait for another name, another opportunity, or just accept the fight. And again, I've never turned down any fights where I'm like, I'm not fighting this guy. I've said yes to everyone they've given me. So, yeah. No one can say anything about I have no shame or anything in my career. Like, the guys I've fought, the challenges I've taken on. I feel like I've taken the hardest path possible. So now when I'm like, give me the highest ranked guy, and hopefully they're the most favorable matchup, hopefully, I'm willing to take that challenge all day long, all day. But you give me the most difficult style, not ranked, nobody knows them. I'm just like, what am I getting out of this? To tell myself you're a badass? Like, okay.
Yeah, you already know that.
Like, give me something that I could put a scalp and go like, yo, this is a worthy attempt to get a scalp.
It's interesting, like, hearing your mindset at this point in your career. It's a very interesting, like, perspective.
Dude, you got to think, when I got signed at 24, my third fight in the UFC was the number 6 ranked guy. I didn't turn nobody down. My opponent at the time was Manny Gambirin. He wasn't ranked. He got hurt or whatever it was. He pulled out of the fight. They offered me one name, Takei Mizugaki. And I just go, okay. I called my coaches and I was like, they want me to fight this guy. He's ranked 6 in the world. I haven't gone back in the ranking since then. You know how crazy that is? Your third fight in the UFC.
You were 24 or 25?
I was 25 at the time. I'm saying I got signed at 24.
I'm 24 right now. I'm just trying to picture, like, what that would be like.
Yeah. I fought Cody Gibson. Then in July, I fought Hugo Viana. And then They offered me Takeo Mizugaki. So it's just crazy.
It's crazy.
At the
Bro.
Prudential Center in Jersey.
Yeah, bro. It's just it's so interesting. I wish we could have been doing this podcast back then. I was like, what? How old are you? 35?
Yeah.
I was like 13 when you got signed to the UFC. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's fucking nuts. No more of this sad stuff. This feels depressing.
I mean, it's just I think it's interesting. Like not a lot of people who are like I'm sure this is a common thing with fighters like past the like most exciting point in their career.
It's a guy like Jim Miller. I'm so impressed by him and inspired by him. Not because he's never fought for a belt or anything like that, but because he's still competing. I think he's got 30 wins in the UFC, which at minimum 20 for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
But I think also 30 fights or 30 wins.
So like just his ability to keep doing it without any
His durability is impressive. Is like that's super inspiring to be around that many different decades and eras of fighting in the UFC.
Still want to do it.
And still want to do it. That's nuts. I know his body hurts in the morning.
Does your body hurt in the morning?
100%.
Yeah, and I think I understand because it's like you've seen the highest of highs that this sport has to offer. Like you felt those dopamine rushes. Like you've been at that status, and now it's like it's like playing the greatest video game of all time and then going back to Pac-Man. Maybe like it's almost like like
it's actually a good analogy.
This doesn't feel like as cool.
It's not. It really isn't.
But bro, you're still like you have. It's like been big fight after big fight. UFC 300, Calvin Kattar, ragdolled him. You and Mofsar, like probably the one guy in the world who you could fight, who could give you a challenge. Like,
and I'm the only guy who called him out.
Yeah,
I'm the only guy who called this guy out.
And like, big fight. That was like probably the most entertaining fight to watch that night. Like it was up there for sure, and it was just like beautiful fight. He beat you in the last minute of the fight, but I think anyone who goes back and watches that fight, like,
I still don't think he beat me.
No, I'm saying like he won the last minute of the fight, but I still think you won that round.
Yeah, but
I don't think he beat you.
I'm still curious to know if he feels like I beat that guy. Like, I feel like as a competitor, as a true competitor, I have a hard time believing that Mofsar, if I'm right about what he thinks about competition and how passionate I am about it, I would imagine he's the same way, that he could feel, like, of course, you're happy you got the W, but there's no way I can feel that I can believe in his heart that he's truly happy to go home and say, yeah, I beat him, or could feel comfortable in his skin saying I beat him. Like, there's got to be some part of him that's just like,
how do you build off that?
Maybe I just got lucky, and thankfully the judges were on my side that night. That's how I think that he would think. What do you do with that information? Live to fight another day. I'm still undefeated. I'm still on my quest to potentially fight for a title. But me looking at that, I'm like, if I were him, I feel like, at some point we got to run that back because I don't sleep good at night knowing that there's debate on who won that fight.
It's interesting.
I know I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, that was such a close fight.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It was a different type. It was like every minute of the fight was close. There was no like domination for 1 second of that fight.
But he did a good job.
Like the Jan fight, it was close, but it was like there was many minutes at a time where you were dominating him, and there was no minutes where he was dominating you. So it's like
that fight's still so annoying.
Yeah, like to me, that's like way less. Like, because I anticipate people being like, "Oh, how do you sleep at night with the Jan fight?" After you saying that.
Yeah.
But I just think like that's such a different. Like this was like every second of that.
No,
fight was
they
like,
could say that about the first fight.
The first
and
fight,
I did not sleep good after that at all. I was very annoyed, and I could not wait to fight him again.
Bro, that must have been torture. For
It was
13
annoying.
months.
13 months of just people talking shit.
That's why I say like your talent, bro, is like one of your talents is no one else on planet Earth could like have the entire world doubting them and talking shit and still think that like bro, if most people, if everyone thinks they're wrong, they start to believe they're wrong. You're like, no, I'm right. Like,
Bro, I had my coaches
and like you didn't even care. Like it was
thinking that I was wrong. I had my coaches thinking that I was wrong.
I know.
Or thinking that I was lying. Whatever term that they want to use and then in my head I'm just like, this is my team backing me. Or the lack
and you were still like,
no, I'm
right. I have a clip of this in one of my hard drives. The day of the fight, you're like, we're about to find out. We're gonna find out if I'm the crazy one or if everyone else is crazy.
Yeah.
And you were like, bro, that's like insane to think about. I even, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. When you invited me to come film, I was like,
this guy's gonna get killed.
No. I wasn't like that. Yeah, but I promise you, I wasn't.
Yeah,
like that.
you were like, I'm about to go work for this guy who's about to get killed. Then I'm gonna take my ass back to Chicago.
No, I didn't think you were gonna get killed, but I was like,
you saw how many rounds that I was doing,
bro.
I was
no.
Demon time.
I was like, I don't really know. Like honestly, I didn't watch you too much before that fight, so I was like, and I kind of just started getting into MMA like a few months, or like a year before you fought him the first time, and I was just like, I don't really know much. Like everyone's saying this guy's gonna lose. Like I don't really know. Like probably Jan's gonna win, honestly. But I didn't think he was gonna kill you. And then literally I saw one Shark Tank with you and Merab, and I was like, in my head at the time, I was like, Merab is like Khabib, like no one can beat. Like it's only a matter of time until Merab's champion. Because I just thought that style was so like dominant, and then you literally just like, it was like fresh body Merab, fresh body Merab, fresh body Merab, fresh body Merab, and you were just like beating everybody the whole 15 minutes straight. And I was like, I got on TikTok that night, and I was like, yo, I'm just gonna smoke Peter Yan. But no one else got to see that shit.
Yeah.
Like the training.
You have the footage of that training?
Probably. It's in a hard drive.
We should post that. Like this is training footage a week, or what was it? I think it was a week or 2 weeks before.
Yeah, like
the Yan rematch.
I think I came out 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And you did like some puke drills like the first day, and then bro, and I didn't know what any of this shit was. Like I had never seen a puke drill in my life. Like
yeah.
Or like a Shark Tank. I was just like I'll be honest, even at the time I was like Aljo's champ now, but like Merab would beat him. Like from the outsider perspective, just because of his like
before.
Yeah. And I didn't know, like I also didn't know anything about MMA really. Like I didn't have a good like understanding of it. Like I kind of do now, but at the time I was just complete like casual. And then I saw that and I was like, bro, there's no way. Like I believed your story right away. Like your story of like I was dehydrated.
I had a bad rehydration.
Yeah.
I felt like I was still cutting weight. It was the most bizarre thing. I felt like it was Thursday night and I was going through a training session to lose weight, to make weight for the morning, and I was just dead exhausted.
Well, you know what it is too, because like you and I had some kind of dialogue leading up to that. Like, you know, we would talk about like me editing the podcast or something. Like you would send me the podcast. We had some kind of conversation. So I was like, and I actually did a podcast episode with you over Zoom. So like I had a fair amount of talking with you, and I was like, this guy seems like a very genuine guy. Like the way the media and the world is painting him, like it's just like hard to believe that he's just making all this up. But if you don't know you, which 99.999% of people who watch MMA don't know you personally. Yeah. It just, your story sounded kind of crazy. Like it just sounded like you were coping.
Yeah, it's like the Russian guys when
the face you made when he kneed you was like it seemed exaggerated. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I watched it back and I was like,
it looks crazy.
I literally said, I can see why people think I was faking.
Yeah,
and like I get that. But I'm like, yo, bro, I didn't know I was doing that. Like I didn't know I looked like that.
Yeah,
that was bad.
But my even like That's why, like, when I was with you full time, like doing your YouTube and stuff, I was like, my goal is to like make everybody see this guy like the way I see him, and like, cause like just me talking to you over the phone a few times before I actually saw you train with Marab and stuff, I was like I don't think this guy's making this up. Like I believe this guy, and then I saw you in training, and I was like against Marab, who everyone knows is like everyone thinks he's on fucking EPO,
Yeah.
and I was like,
And that's why I don't go 35 anymore, because I can't do what I do in training in the fights. It's just impossible.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like in training, literally, you're like the greatest of all time. Like it's crazy. No one ever gets the best of you in training. And I was like, I literally saw you train like 2 times, and I was like, yo, like bigger guys too. I was like,
That would be my most satisfactory parts of training, when I go with the bigger guys and I just smash them. They're just like, this fucking bantamweight is doing this to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bantamweight when I'm on fight week. I ain't a bantamweight right now. I'm
bro,
a big boy
I didn't like
for the weight at least.
the whole time. Like your whole title run, I literally like thought you were unbeatable. Like I did not think a single soul could beat you.
I felt the same way.
Like like Henry, I was a little like worried just because of like the narrative. I wasn't worried, but I was like, this is a tough fight. But I don't know if he could actually stuff Aljo's takedowns. That was like,
That was a good fight.
and then, but I just didn't think like I also, you know what it was? Because I was like, no one's as smart as Aljo. Like, if it's like 2 physical like beasts matching up, you're gonna outsmart.
Yeah. I think I do it right with like the fight IQ stuff, understanding like the scenario and situations that you're in. My fight IQ dropped in the Mozart fight, though. I will say that. That third round, because I always get that mount position. I get it on everybody when they try to come up, and I just these nuts, literally just run my hips in their face, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, "Damn, you just got teabagged." And then the one guy stops it in an actual fight. If had that happened to me one time in training, I would have second guessed doing it, and I would have just let him go instead of following him. And I tried to follow him, and then he got the reverse, and I was just like, God damn it, the one time. But it's even funny because I don't know, you saw that clip with Marab, his last fight, and he's like, he's telling everyone I'm the best wrestler. So the Russian guys were asking me about this. And like, yeah, Marab said you're better than the Dagestani guys. And I was just like, because he compared me, I think he compared me to Khabib. My wrestling is better than all these guys. And I was just like, you're going to make these guys hate me, bro. You're going to make these guys hate me.
Bro, I'll say it. Like,
But
I think I don't think anyone puts the whole grappling package together as good as you in the entire sport. Like nobody. And your fights, I don't think reflected as much as like what I've seen in the training room.
of course.
Like if there's no cameras or anything, it's just like what goes on behind closed doors. I don't think anyone has the wrestling and jiu-jitsu combo that you have. Like
I think I'm fucking a lot of people up off camera.
you are. It's
Off
actually fortunately it's on camera. Yeah. But it's like crazy, like, but it's just like the fights, it's always different in the fights.
Yeah, I do play it a lot safer in fights, though.
Yeah.
I will say that. And I think that's part of the fight IQ stuff. It's just like, okay, consequences here are a lot bigger than in the training room. So
yeah,
I just gotta. It is what it is. I do appreciate Marab for saying that though, because we've have a lot of tough sessions, and you know when one gets the better of each other, we're kind of like both. Either one of us is really happy, and for a very long time, I think even when I had the belt, this one I had the belt too, I would always get the better of Marab, and for a very long time, like if it was either close or it was more dominant on my end.
Uh-huh.
And then there was one training session I remember coming into the room. We sparred, and he took me down multiple times. I was exhausted. Mind you, I just came back from somewhere. I can't remember at the time what it was.
This was the Henry camp, right? Or the Sean camp?
No. I think it was out of a camp. It was out of camp.
Okay.
And I remember he got the better of me. Like Rob, it was bad. It wasn't great for me. And I was like, I finished the training session. I'm like, damn, I am deflated right now. This is a different Marab, or I'm just really out of shape, or a combination of both. And at the end, he comes over with the grin on his face, and he goes, like he literally does this. Yeah, most days you get me, but today was my day. Oh my God. I could not help but start laughing. I was like, oh, this is hilarious.
Yo.
I was like, this is the demon Marab I'm talking about.
Yo.
Just comes over, he acknowledges.
Bro,
It's like,
he actually is a demon, bro.
it's like, yeah, you get me all the time, but this day is my day. I'm like, yo. I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm going to get in shape, and I'm going to give you some better rounds. This also happened for the Umar fight, the fight camp. He's getting ready. I jump in. I was dealing with from my last fight, my shoulder from the Mozart fight. So my shoulder was still jacked up, rotator cuff, partial tear. So I get in, we spar. I'm trying to imitate Umar, but I am not in shape. He beats me up really good. Like, it was just not fun. It was not a fun session. I think we only did 2 rounds, maybe 3. But after those 2 rounds, I was like, bro, I'm good. I gave you the looks as much as I could give you. Try to be your Umar. And then I told him, I was like, okay, next week I come back in better shape. And I came back in better shape. So we did 2 rounds.
Yo, that's crazy.
He wanted me to go third. And I said, no. You got these guys right here.
Yo, bro.
I was like, I got my revenge.
I wish everybody got to see those, bro, honestly, like,
it was
from,
so
like,
good.
the law, like, squad, like, literally, like, the sparring that would go on in that gym, or, like, between the guys from that gym is, like,
Pay-per-view fights,
bro. Like, I've seen Nas and Steam, like, put on a show with some fucking shin guards on. Like,
It's insane.
yo, like, or, like, you and Marab, like, Dennis and Nas, like, bro, it's just fucking...
I go Marab, Pumi, Pombos, rotating, just like...
Bro, even Pumi, like,
Delemy, Dennis... Delemy 6-0. There's some hammers, man. We were a small gym, small team, but we had some really good guys. And then I remember, just like funny stories, because Damien just won, big win for him, 4 in a row now.
Yeah, he's
highlight reel
He's
knockout.
crushing him.
We come back down from Vegas, me and Marab, we go train with these guys, and we're sparring, and it's just we do good, and the guys are like, damn, I just thought like. I closed like the gap a little bit. But it's just funny, but it's also like I also feel bad at the same time. Like, damn, should I just like let up a little bit just to like build self-confidence more?